Hey everyone, Charles here, and first of all, thank you for stopping by my podcast. If this show inspires you, makes you think, or gives you that courage to jump into action, please help by donating to this show. Click the link in the description and donate. Your donation helps us with production and finding great guests moving forward. Thank you and enjoy.
Amazon is offering sign-on bonuses up to $1,000, plus get up to $20 an hour for select roles. The best part? We're hiring near you. So start now to take home something greater. New, higher wages with a sign-on bonus, a range of real benefits, and career growth opportunities in a top-rated workplace. So earn more and see how great pay and sign-on bonuses can lead to a greater life for you. Go to amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, how you doing? Charles here. And before we get started, I just want to thank my new sponsor, Alitu. Alitu is a great program for podcasters. It took my editing from an hour down to minutes. It helps you with voiceovers, editing, putting in commercials. So it helps me to help you to make me sound better. So I just want to thank Alitu for jumping on board for being our sponsor. Hey, and they trust me so much, they're giving me a code that I can give to you, my fans, my listeners. Go to Alitu and put in the key code name JUMP. That's JUMP, J-U-M-P, and get a discount for you to try Alitude for yourself. I know it helped me, and it will help you too. Thank you to Alitu. Hey, things happen in your life, but what do? Do you crawl up in a ball, or you stand up and fight? Hey, listen to my guest Ty as she tells us how she stood up and fight into greatness. Good morning to everybody, and welcome to the Jump Podcast. I'm your host, Charles Matthews, and welcome to the Jump. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we're great to have you here. What we want to do is make sure that you're having a great time and enjoying yourself. So sit back and relax, and welcome to the Jump Podcast.
You know you should be doing something different, right? Hey, I'm talking to you. Do you believe that you have the gift for greatness or have a special talent, but don't have the courage to take that next step? Always wondering how others made it look so easy? Well, welcome to Jump, the show that will bring you special guests just like you and me. How did they get the courage to jump into greatness? Doing what they love and living the good life. So get ready to jump with your host, Charles Matthews Jr.
Yes, and we're back, and welcome to the Jump Podcast. I don't know about you, but I'm excited for my next guest. I've been trying to chase this person down for a while. We've been going back and forth, and then she finally said, let's do it. So I'm excited to have her on the line. So without further ado, let me see my special guest. Ty, are you there?
I'm here.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for having me on today.
No, thank you for being on the Jump. If no one, the first-time listeners know that Jump is all about taking a step forward, trying something new. You know, you have greatness in you, and sometimes you got to take that chance and jump. And I think that you are a person that you can teach some of us of different things that you've done in your life to jump to be successful.
Absolutely. When I saw what Jump was all about, when I saw that, it's all about business, faith, and lifestyle, I was like, this is my kind of people. Like, I want to be there. I need to be on that show. And I'm so excited not only to be here with you, but I'm so excited about what the audience is going to get out of this conversation today.
All right. So give us a background a little bit. Where are you from? Where are you brought up? How many brothers and sisters you have? What you like for breakfast? The whole 9 yards.
Oh, excellent. This is cool. So I'm Birmingham, Alabama, born and raised all of my life, been in the South. I actually have 4 sisters, no brothers at all. We grew up sleeping in a king size bed, head, toe, head, toe, head, toe. Yeah, so pretty interesting there. Let's talk about my favorite breakfast. I actually do not eat breakfast, and when I do, it's usually a veggie smoothie.
Oh man, is it green?
It's green.
Nah, see, we were on the same page there until you said it was just green. That's it.
It's green, but it's so delicious. It's more sweet green. So yeah.
Okay, okay. So all girls. So your parents had to have a lot of bats and shotguns in the house. So that's good. Chase all the
Yeah,
boys away. Were you
absolutely.
were you, were you guys all similar, different? What was the dynamics in that house?
Oh wow, we were so very different. So I had my older two sisters. They kind of grew up together, and they were like really really close. And then it was me and my baby sister,
Okay.
who was the next closest. So we sort of had that gap. So the oldest two, they did band and music, and the two, me and my younger sister, we were just like homebodies. We were very creative, imaginative, making things, playing around the house. We were just in that zone.
So why am I thinking that you were the trouble one out of the four?
Oh my gosh, how did you know? Yes, I was the one who created the game and created the
Mhm.
rules. And then
Yeah.
when the game was going in my favor, I recreated the rules. How did you
Yeah.
know that?
I trust me. I know you're. I figured it out. The two were together. Then they had you, so you need to dominate somebody. Then the little baby came out, so you're like, oh, okay, now you gotta listen to me because I'm the older one. And then yeah, yeah, no, I saw it. Plus I'm looking at your picture. That smile of yours, I know something was up. I know something was up. So
You called it.
tell us how did this leadership of changing the game and leading your family and stuff come into business? Because it sounds like you're always the leader one, so it must have translated into business.
Yeah, it actually did. And I really believe that my upbringing, and we hear this all the time, but especially for me, I was born, I lived in the projects. And so when you're in the projects, you got a lot of time to think. You got a lot of time to think about what you don't have. You have a lot of time to think about what you want in life. My mom raised us. Who was a single. She was a single mom, so she worked incredibly hard, and so from her work ethic, I was like, yes, I want that, but I don't, I want more from life. So I grew up thinking about these things. Like literally where we live, we had the fence, and most projects used to have like a gate or a fence or brick wall around it. And I would just lay back on the floor on those concrete floors and just be like, if I could take myself away from here, where would I take myself? And so I lived in that space for a long time. And so it was just a matter of time before opportunity, growing up, opportunity came. Like Ty, I didn't want to work for someone else like I saw my mom, because I also saw her paychecks. I knew at a very young age that I wanted to own something and do something for myself. Now at the same time, Charles, I was pregnant at 15.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, I got pregnant at 15. So here I am, 16 years old and a mom. I was a very smart girl, graduated top of my class. I didn't make National Honor Society simply because I was pregnant. So for a while, it was all about proving other people that I was more than just this girl who had this baby. So coupled
Right.
with imagination from childhood, the extra push of people like counting you out, those two came together. Although it was extremely difficult, it created an opportunity for me to trust God and trust myself like never before. And so all those ideas I had thought about for years, like, okay, God, direct me, show me how and what it is for me to do. And once I got the clarity on what that was for me, what those passions and what my gift was, I executed.
So then the question is, what was your first jump? So okay, you got pregnant at 15. So what was your first job? What did you go after, knowing that okay, I got a little one to feed, I got to make it. So what was your first adventure that you went after?
Well, my first adventure, to be completely honest, I'm thinking, I got to make this college thing work. I got to make this college thing work. I need to go. I was very smart. Okay, um, you got to go to college to get a good job. You know what most people say. I didn't do that. I instead decided that I was going to go to cosmetology school. Got my 2 year degree and set up shop as a hairstylist. Now, my first jump was I'm going to have my own business as a hairstylist. My first job though was McDonald's.
Of
my
course,
first
you got to work at McDonald's. You got to get that free fries. Come on now.
Right. My first job was McDonald's. My first jump was to rent my own chair in a hair
Okay.
salon.
Okay. See, and that's a good thing too, because you see all your coworkers in hairnets and go, "Yo, you you need to get that tightened up, right?"
That's right. Uh-huh.
All right. So from there, you went to the hairstylist, and so how did that work out?
Man, at first, the first 6 months, I didn't have a strategy. I was like really like on a hope and a prayer. Like, I hope somebody, come get their hair done today. It wasn't working out. But then I started picking up some books and reading about marketing and reading about how to create a business plan. And literally in the next no, I'm sorry, I'm going to say 7 months. In the next 7 months, I broke six figures. It was the
Hold
most
on.
money I
Whoa,
ever
whoa, whoa,
made
whoa,
in
whoa.
my life in a
Okay,
short
hold on.
period of time.
All right, back up, back up, back up.
Uh-huh.
First of all, you're slinging fries.
Right.
You have nobody with nappy head coming to your house,
Right.
and then you boom, six figures.
Just like that. Scariest thing ever. I just knew somebody was going to rob me. My car was going to break down. Something was going to happen. I'm so serious. That's such a huge change going from depending on, whatever McDonald's was paying me every 2 weeks to like, oh my gosh, like Ty, you're bringing in like in excess of $10,000 a month. That was a wow for me at
Wow.
19.
Okay. And it was all about just reading the books and following other people's advice and what they're learning and the vision that they've had, and you implement it into yourself.
It was a lot. Yeah, it was sort of like that, but it was a lot more grind and grit. I was out there I was out there. So it was not more. It was more than the information. It was really more about the implementation. And even further than that, it was about my belief system that held all. My belief system was the glue that held it together. Because the
Okay.
information really was. It was a strategy. I had written it out on paper, but all of us have a lot of information. Um, but it was just that power to believe in myself enough to go out there and implement, regardless of who rejected me, regardless of those who talked about me, regardless of those who said, "Oh, this girl, she don't know. We've been doing this for a long time. She out here thinking she creating something new." And there it was. The proof was in the pudding. Not too long, my chair was filled up, and the money was coming in. So it was really about my belief in myself.
So that's one thing I want my Jump fans to listen very carefully. Someone can give you the information, you can read all the books you want, but if you don't move forward and implement it and do it your way as well, you can implement it, but if you're not doing it your style, it doesn't work. So you have to put your twist on it.
Absolutely. And what I tell my clients, I say you can't just take the information and adopt it. Because that's what a lot of us do. We see somebody else successful in doing their thing, and we say,
Right.
"Oh, we want that too," and we adopt everything that they're doing. So we become miniature them. We're imitating, but what you really have to do is adapt it. How do I take the underlying principle that they're using and truly make it your own flavor, make it work for you?
Okay. Okay. I like that advice right there because we've all said, oh, you read this book, follow step by step, you should become rich just like this person. But the thing is, that person's journey and my journey is two different things. So I can follow your steps, but I got to tweak your steps a little bit to fit my style.
Absolutely.
Okay, I love it. So then now you're doing you're doing a great job. What made you move to the next level?
So next level was so after operating a chair for a while, um, everyone knew that I was different. I kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. I dressed different, I spoke differently, I moved differently. So with that, you got the eyes on you, people talking about you. Um, I asked the management of the salon to sort of make certain changes to make it a more pleasant environment for my clients because I'm attracting a higher level clientele than what that salon typically attracts, or even let's say my clients expect it differently because I set a different expectation.
Okay.
And when the manager of the salon was like, "Who do you think you are?" Like you, this little young cat, this little young girl. He was actually a minister, so he wanted me to call him Mister and have all these different things with him. I'm a business owner, so we're going to have this mutual respect for one another. And when I saw that that wasn't there anymore, I decided to open my own salon. So I didn't just leave out there, jump out there. This second time, I was a little more strategic. This next time around, I actually saved about $40,000 over the next. It was less than a year. I saved about $40,000 cash money next to my bed, and I said, "This is what I'm going to use to open my own salon." And what that looked like for those of you who are listening who have a big dream and you want to go to the next level, you most times have to find a way to fund that dream yourself. And so what that looked like for me was my husband at the time worked in a restaurant. So that looked like a lot of Arby's. We ate a lot of Arby's because we were not busting the budget. We weren't spending a lot of money on grocery shopping. That looked like me no longer buying clothing or shoes. That looked like us really carpooling. And I mean, every way that we can save money and cut expenses, we did. And I was able to save $40,000 cash money in a relatively short amount of time. And I used that money to, get my own building. And I found a loft in downtown Birmingham, an area filled with attorneys. No, they had told like a salon is not going to work here. Everybody that ever got this building was gone. They were gone in a year or two. Was able to get the building, was there for almost 9 years until I decided I didn't want to be there anymore. And took that first 6 figures and made it a 7-figure brand.
But then
So
weren't you like scared to get your own building? Like that's the fear that everybody has is like, okay, I'm comfortable. Some people might be thinking, well, she's making how many figures now? Shouldn't she just be happy with that and comfortable? She's making more money she's ever done before.
Absolutely. It was definitely the fear is there. And fear is all about uncertainty. It's just because it's something that we can't control. We can't control the results. We can't control and know what's coming. And so I really had to sort of like in a way, like rationalize the fear away and continue to say, Ty, you've been trusting yourself all this time. If you're going to bet on anybody, you got to bet on yourself. And so it wasn't a time for me to shrink back and fall and become so comfortable where I was. It was time for me to create something different, not only for myself, but to be honest, even right now, my goal is not to be successful alone. My goal is to be significant. And to me, significant means not only you being successful, but being able to reproduce the same sort of success in the lives of others. And so the type of stylist I was, other stylists was like, Ty, they were like, Ty, how did you get there? How do you get this high level clientele? How do you build it? How do you set, how do you set these rules and boundaries for a salon? Like we don't have a black salon run like this in Birmingham. How do you do it? And so I was able to take in other stylists and teach them, like really imparting them my belief system, you can't give somebody your work ethic, but I showed them how I work. I sort of pulled back the veil on what brought me to this point. And still to this day, I have clients who were they worked at my salon, but now they're my business clients because they're like, Ty, wherever you're going, I'm going right with you. They've been with me since I got my first chair. They were the first stylists at my salon. And now when I made the shift to the coaching industry, Ty, we're shifting with you. So now several of them have become coaches and I'm teaching them business strategy as well around that. But I wanted to be significant and that I wanted to help others have that same level of success, not only stylists, but, my family, they depend on me. Like, I didn't want to be the only one. Everybody only come to me for money. How can I help you get some yourself? And so I knew I needed more than just enough money to take care of myself. I needed to find a way to create enough wealth and revenue so that I can create the opportunity for others to learn how to grow and walk in their own gifts at the same time.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. But right after the break, I want you to let everybody know how you help others, how they can contact you. And because you do speaking jobs, you go out, you teach them little tips. And I want you to come back and let us know how it all trends out and how we can be successful just like yourself. Stay tuned. Absolutely. We'll be right back.
Have an idea for a fabulous event but just don't know how to get started? Call Charles Matthews from CMJ Entertainment. He will sit down with you and give you key strategies and all the steps you need to know while setting your budget on the right track. Over the years, he's helped small and big businesses reach their goals on many events throughout the city. He specializes in charities, corporate and special events, and if you ask him, he will tell you his hands have been in a lot of the great events we have had in the city of Toronto. Give him a call at 416-414-8964 or read some information about what he can do at cmjentertainment.com. Don't waste time. Someone else is thinking of the same idea now. Spend the money now to save thousands later.
Hey, it's okay if you're driving or too busy to take notes. Charles has your parachute packed with all the info you need to jump into success. Check out the links section for all the tools you need to land safe. Now, let's keep falling with Charles and his special guest.
Yes, and we're back, and with my special guest, Ty. And Ty's been telling us the journey of her life, what she's gone through, how she survived, and what her brain and her mind tells her that, what I'm getting from this is that you are the number one person. You always got to push. And she's been pushing herself to greatness, and I'm just loving the interview right now. So, Ty, before we went to break, I wanted to find out little tips and how you help people on their journey. So do me a favor, tell us how we can contact you, your email address and phone number.
Yes, my email address is ty@tymiles.com. That's TYE@TYEMILES.com. And my telephone number is 205-538-8936.
All right. And just go to her website, tymills.com. And then she has all information on there. And, she does a blog content. There's a lot of love on her website, and she's there to help. So make sure you go in there. And it says, how to start living your life true. And that's what I like. And how do you start living your life is the main thing. So how do you help us out, Ty?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a business and life strategist. I'm a metaphysician, international speaker, best-selling author, all the good stuff. Those are all the titles there. But what I really love to do, I'm here to help my clients, experience the absolute best personally and financially. So whether this in personal life or business, I'm a life and business strategist. I'm also right now, I have just launched this beautiful program called Empowered CEO Mastermind. It is specifically designed for aspiring and early stage entrepreneurs who've been in business from 0 to 5 years. And what I do there is help them to design, launch, and grow a profitable brand, but not only profitable, but fulfilling. Having the type of business that gives you the financial success that you want, but it's one that, you're creating something that you love, something that you don't need a vacation from. So I have the blessing of being able to do that.
And then how do you take everybody? Is there a process? Do we call you first and see if we're a good fit? How does the process work?
Yeah, so the process works. I do not take everybody. I'm very specific with who I work with. I only want to work with those who I know I can help and who I know will do the work. So there is a process for that. The best thing to do, if you go over to my website, you're going to see where it's at. It's going to ask you if you want to sign up for a session with me. All you have to do is go there, fill out the form. It's going to have a brief survey, get to know you process. Based off that survey, if you are qualified, then myself or one of my team members will give you a call back or email back to let you know when your appointment is.
All right. Now, can you explain, in your opinion, when all of us get to the edge of the plane, we have our backpacks ready to go, helmets ready to go, goggles is all good, and the door swings open, why in life are we hesitant to jump?
Yeah, this is so good. The first thing I think is that uncertainty. Uncertainty scares the heck out of you when you just don't know. It's like walking into a dark room. You don't know what's next. You know what your past has been. You know what you're currently experiencing. Even if what you're currently experiencing is not what you want it to be, you can know that there's something meant for more. But it's something about taking that journey in the dark. It's something about going in the dark, and I know that something is. And this is what it boiled down to me is that it goes back to that trust in self. I believe at a very foundational level, even once you get past the fear of uncertainty, it's that, can I do this? When are you going to, we second guess ourselves. We talk ourselves and overthink ourselves out of that next level. And for me, I knew that I trusted God. And I had to tell myself, Ty, it's time for you to trust yourself on the same level as you trust God. And that's what I found a lot in many of the communities. And whenever I'm speaking on the road, it gets to this thing. Yeah, I've prayed, I believe God has said this to me. But if you have prayed and if you believe and God has said yes to you, then to me that points out there's something in yourself that you're not fully trusting.
Okay,
So
and that leads into my next question. sometimes you don't trust yourself, but then you have others, and you've been saying that through your whole entire interview, that there was others that kept telling you, "What are you doing? You can't do that. Why bother? Why take the chance? Do you know what you're doing properly?" Like, you have all these naysayers. How you seem like a strong woman that you just kept saying whatever, 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 but not everybody out there's like that. How do you lock out the naysayers?
Yeah, it takes courage. So you have to be able to cut them. You have to boldly say, okay, for where I'm going, I can't have this type of people around me. Whether that means, sometimes we can't run away from our family. Sometimes we can't run away from our spouses. But you have to say, I'm not listening. You have to like literally have the boldness and the courage to say, when it comes to this, I'm going to protect this part of my dream from you. You have to take that bold stand for yourself. And sometimes this may actually mean leaving spaces if you can, no longer associate with certain people, no longer go in certain environments that do not support where you're going. Because when you're shifting, when, like you said, you're at the edge of that plane, the next thing for me is like getting the support you need. Getting the support you need. You have to do an honest assessment. What do I have and what do I need? And if you know that you have X, Y, and Z, that should clearly tell you. You should be able to clearly see that I don't have this. If I know I'm going to start that business and I know I have the business idea, but I don't know how to validate that business idea. Maybe you need to, get with a support of some sort. Maybe that can be a business coach. That could look like a book. That can look like going to Google. You can find anything on Google. How do I validate the business idea? So yeah, be allowing yourself to be supported, because the truth of the matter is when you're ready to make that jump, you can only take yourself so far. There was a point in my business, I can only take myself so far. I had to allow myself to be supported, which was a hard thing when you're used to standing on your own. But you have to, support is out there for you. And so find a way to get the support that you need. But it starts with that assessment of, what do I have that is necessary for me to get to this next level, to build this part of my dream out? And what don't I have? Who do I need? What do I need to get rid of to create space for this dream, so I can have space for this thing to expand?
So here's here's a funny thing. I always tell everybody, all my listeners, that they think, oh, I don't want to fail. But failure is the best way to learn. When you fail, you learn your mistakes and how to get better. If you're always worried about failure, you never start. So can you tell our listeners that one aspect that you jumped in and then you failed, but you learned from it and you became great again?
Yeah. So first of all, let me just say, you're exactly right. I look at failure as success and progress. And so if you want to be successful, you have to lean into failure. And one of the things, 3 years ago when I started my coach, so one of the times I feel like I failed 3 years ago when I started my coaching business, I had this idea of a client that I had in mind that I wanted to serve. And I built this sort of like this whole coaching program out around this phantom client. And I went to market this program, and those clients didn't come. Those clients didn't come. Now, was I disappointed? Yes, I was disappointed, partly because I invested $62,000 in a coach to teach me how to do this, and evidently I missed something. So I'm like, I want to start getting my investment back, but it didn't quite work that way. I could have been disappointed, tuck my tail between my legs and said, hey, this thing don't work. But what did I do? I went back to the drawing board. I called up a few people who I knew could benefit from me, and I started asking them questions. Hey, what do you need? How much would you pay for this? Have you tried anything like this before? What was that result? What didn't you like about it? And I took that information that they had given me, went back to the drawing board, put a program together, decided to do a very small fee event. And let me tell you, this is so amazing. So after that first huge failure, I got my first small event, and I said it was small because I had 11 people in that room, 11 women who knew me. Some of them were hair clients. I was like, ain't nobody in this room gonna do business with me. I made my offer in that room after talking with those people after that first failure, and out of 11 people in the room, 7 of them said yes, and I closed over $11,000
Okay.
into a coaching program. The first one was a failure. The second one, I got information, offered it, 11 people in the room, 7 said yes, and brought in $11,000. So you just
all,
can't give up.
all by one mistake, one learning, you learn from it, and then you gained.
Right. And I like to say it this way. A lot of us think that the learning is the doing, but in all reality, the doing is the learning. If you never start doing, you'll never start learning what you need in order to be successful. So a lot we get stuck in that procrastination because I'm reading this book and I'm looking up this and you call yourself doing. That's learning. And the learning is not the doing. You actually got to get out there and do it. And then the learning comes from your doing. And that's where the gold is.
Yeah, I like that part because I'll be honest, even me, I'm being selfish. When I do this show, I do the show to help others, but I also do this show to help myself because we could always learn. I'm a professional speaker. I've spoken in front of, like you said, 5 people, in front of thousands of people. But when it came time to do this podcast show, it took me 4 months to push the first record button. I didn't I didn't know. I was like, okay, is people gonna listen? Are people gonna take this seriously? I don't know. And I thought to myself, I can't be teaching it if I can't be doing it myself. And
Absolutely.
once I hit the first record button, I'm like, okay, I made a couple of mistakes, but then look at it now. I'm getting fantastic guests like yourself on the show. I'm learning. I have over 200 followers every day. There's a different follower that's coming on, loving my show. I got great listeners right now listening. So you have to take that first step and do something. You have to jump because without it, you'll never. I don't want you thinking about 6 months from now going, oh, I should have. Oh, I could have. Oh, I missed the opportunity. Don't miss the opportunity. Just jump. Just go ahead and do it. So what I want to know is, one last question before I let you go is, before you leave the earth, what your legacy? What's your legacy going to be? What do you want to leave people behind?
Ooh, that's a big question. So before I leave this earth, I want to leave people, well, I want to leave empty. That's the first thing. I want to make sure that, the things that I feel that I should be doing, they won't be shoulda, coulda, wouldas. But the second thing I want to leave is that I want to leave people with the knowing that they can live authentic, that they can live true to themselves and whatever that looks like. Like, don't be afraid that who you are and what you have to bring looks different than someone else. Like, we get so stuck in comparison. Like, if I can just really get this from the young people I talk to the older, to the oldest woman that I've ever worked with, we all get caught up on the same thing. I truly believe that everything each one of us need to succeed is within us. And what that means, that what you have is uniquely different from someone else's. And so I want to leave people the legacy of, uh, through showing them throughout my life, and them reading my books or even coming back to listen to this podcast, that their authenticity is their biggest resource when it comes to unearthing the wealth that's for them. You
Okay.
are enough. You have enough. You lack nothing. Your personality, the way you look, what you have is just enough to get you to where you're going.
Now, with that said, I want to thank you so much for coming on the Jump Podcast Show. But before I let you go, I know you got listeners out there. Go ahead and shout them out.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I want to go ahead and shout out my executive assistant, Takesha Thomas, my besties in business. I have Anita Watkins listening in, Latasha listening in, um, Dr. Avis listening in, so many wonderful people out there. Oh, I can't, my husband, oh my gosh, Jason Miles, he's my backbone. Want to give him so much love. And my beautiful children, Caitlin, Sarah, and Jacoby, love you all to life. Thank you so much for having me, Charles. This has been amazing.
Oh, I
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much to every one of you listening.
All right. And thank you to all my Jump fans. And listen, if she can do it with her story, you can do it with your story. Anybody's story can be successful. Thank you for listening to the Jump Podcast.
Thank you for listening. If you liked the show or have a comment, we would love to hear from you. Join our mailing list, and as always, check out our special deals links below. I hope this has inspired you to look at your life and jump. See you next week.
Amazon is offering sign-on bonuses up to $1,000, plus get up to $20 an hour for select roles. The best part? We're hiring near you. So start now to take home something greater. New, higher wages with a sign-on bonus, a range of real benefits, and career growth opportunities in a top-rated workplace. So earn more and see how great pay and sign-on bonuses can lead to a greater life for you. Go to amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer. Amazon is offering sign-on bonuses up to $1,000, plus get up to $20 an hour for select roles. The best part? We're hiring near you. So start now to take home something greater. New, higher wages with a sign-on bonus, a range of real benefits, and career growth opportunities in a top-rated workplace. So earn more and see how great pay and sign-on bonuses can lead to a greater life for you. Go to amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, hope you had a great time listening to the show. If you think I did a great job, please buy me a coffee. I still got a lot of work to do. We would love to hear from you, your feedback, so please click the link and leave us a review. You can help us grow by following us on all social media platforms and sharing this link. Once again, it's time for you to jump. Success is waiting.